Hi there, this is a video to just go over the basics of the project. So, the final project. So we need an AABA or ABAC structure. We need an 8-bar modal melody with an ostinato in the bass. You can have a layered ostinato too. We're going to use chordal voicings for the mode. We got an 8-bar contrasting B section, in which you use tonal harmony with things like secondary dominants, 2/5, sub-5s, contiguous 2/5s, things like that. And then you're going to replace some of your conventional chords with hybrid voicings. When you develop your melody, you're going to use some or all of these techniques. And what else? You can use a strong motive from the melody to create consonant structure for an intro or for connecting passages. And at the end, you're going to use a deceptive resolution of the 5 chord, common deceptive resolution. And then there's some more details there. Okay, so I did a little sample project. It's just a very quick thing just to put together some of these ideas. So I'm going to start off in A Dorian, and I get an ostinato written. You can have your ostinato be kind of open-ended like that with lots of roots of fifths, or you can make it more specific by having it include character note. Like, for example, if I turn that into an F, this is A Dorian, if I turn that into an F sharp, that bass note right there, I would have a more specifically Dorian ostinato. So doesn't really matter, it's just a matter of taste, which you want to do, whether you want to have it more open-ended or more specific. Okay, here's an example of a layered ostinato where you have more than one line creating an more complex ostinato. So this sounds like this. And so if I wanted to, I could keep that going. I decided to only use it there. I'm not going to use it for the rest of the song, but I could have. Okay, then I took an idea from the melody, which is over here, this little idea, and I extended the rhythms of it, made them longer, and I created this little constant structure passage, which comes up right here. Okay, that's my constant structure passage. Relationships are all the same. That's the 11th on a minor chord, 11th on that minor chord, 11th on that minor chord, 11th on that minor chord. And I just copied those intervals against down, which we had down here, down a third, up a third, up a second. I just did that right there. That was my constant structure. Now I get to my A section, which is a mode, and I have a AAB form. So I have two A's. Here we go, we'll play it both times. Okay, so I'll stop it there for a second. So what do we have? We have a motive. Then we did a sequence of that motive, which is one of the techniques that described in the paper. Then I did an inversion of that motive. That's where I did the same intervals but backwards. So instead of down a third, went up a third. Instead of up a third, down a third. Instead of up a second, down a second. Then I used one modal interchange chord, which you can do in your modal section if you want to use a little bit of modal interchange. I'm in Dorian, but I used a Phrygian chord right there. And now we'll lead into our tonal section. Here's the tonal section going from here. Oops, it went back. It's not meant to do that. Sorry. Get rid of that. There we go. Now it'll go into the A section. B section. goes on from there into the C section. So this is my tonal section. You can see there's more fast-moving harmony. I have one, I have a, that's not an E major 7, sorry, that's an A major 7 there. So that's my 1 major 7, passing down the bass, flat 7 major 7, 5 7 of 2, deceptive down a half step to flat 6 major 7, related to of sub 5 of 4, going to the 4, 4 minor to flat 7 7, deceptive to flat 3 4, and then this is just part of a constant structure thing that leads into my C section. I replaced some of these chords with hybrids, not all of them. You don't have to replace all of them with hybrids. There's an example right there. I did flat 7 major over 1, sort of a sus type sound. Here I did a Dorian hybrid, another sus type hybrid there. I did a Lydian hybrid there, and then a bunch of Ionian hybrids there, hybrids that can be either Ionian or Lydian, 5 major over 1. Okay, now we get to our C section, which is the same idea as the A section, but it's in another key. It's an F sharp Dorian. And then that will lead to our ending, which is coming up on the 4th page. And I'll just start from here. Let me just start with leftmost measure. And here we go, from the C. Okay, so that was my C section, which is like my A but in another key. And then I did a 2-5 in the key of A. And instead of going to the 1 chord, I went to common deceptive resolution of 5, which one of many, which was flat 7 major 7. And then I went cycle 5, constant structure once again, down to the 1 chord. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll play the whole project through once so you can hear the whole thing flowing along. And those are just really just to illustrate all the concepts. You guys can write whatever in any genre, any time signature, and get creative and have some fun with it. And this is just something that I just knocked off really fast, but give it some thought and you'll come up with some great stuff, I'm sure. Okay, here's the whole thing. I guess I'll go to scroll view to make it easier to just follow along. There we go.